So I've never really been a fan of DC. I haven't read the comics. I don't really like the movies outside of like 2 Batman films. And the Superman, I just was never into it. But after seeing this new Superman, I gotta say, this is one of the best films I've ever seen. I feel like this movie goes beyond the medium of cinema, and it really speaks louder to us as humanity, bigger than us as individuals. There's a lot of movies I feel that speak to us individually, but this movie has such a huge impact on what's going on in our lives. And I feel like this movie is trying to move us as humanity in the right direction. And it does it very, very well. I mean, in this movie, there is a lot of like hate and propaganda going around, just like in reality. And we see in the film how it really affects some of the characters, especially Superman. And there's moments when it gets to him and it kind of ruins his relationships with the people around him. And it's easy to make the connection how we as people can see hate online and have it get to us and have us as humans feel hate towards one another. And Superman, throughout this film, even though his life is surrounded by all this hate, he is able to always choose to do the right thing. It doesn't matter who you are. To really emphasize, a squirrel, Superman will go out of his way to help out anyone. He always wants to do what's right and what's good. And this is something that I really, really believe in. Maybe it's just speaking to me personally. I don't think so. I think it speaks to a larger thing. But I really believe in always doing the right thing. We can make mistakes as humans, but that doesn't mean we can't strive to do better. We can't strive to be better. And we have a choice, to be better. We can easily follow a path that is set out for us. And from the moment we're born, we're products of our environment, and we act according to how the world around us is. But that doesn't mean we always have to follow that. And that is a hard part of life, is recognizing, I grew up thinking one thing, knowing one thing, and finally, when I'm an adult, things are actually different. And maybe it's not right. Maybe things are wrong. We have that choice. We can make our own path, and it will be hard. But Superman has these choices in this film. He really exemplifies the best in us as humans. And even though this is a Superman story, this is more of our story. This is what we should be. We should be all Superman, I believe, in a way. During this film, I had to have cried at least 4 times, and I can't even remember the last movie I cried this much. It was different points of the movie too, and it just lets you emotionally connect, and it hits down deep inside. And yeah, I know some moments are followed by jokes, but in reality, that happens all the time, right? You have an emotional moment, and jokes are told by the people around you to try to make you feel better, by yourself to try to make you feel better. And I saw this as a little criticism out there, but I feel like it's very grounded and very realistic. We as humans don't always want to live heavy lives. At least I know in my family we've joked around. I've joked around in serious situations a lot. So personally, I feel like I had a large connection to this film, to Superman, and of trying to be perfect, trying to make our own path. It doesn't matter who we are, what we're told, where we're from, our story, what we believe in. We can always change, and we can always do better. And I personally know people that have family that don't necessarily make the right choices, that don't believe the right philosophies, that have hate in their heart. And a film like this is very, very important to them, to see that it doesn't matter. And it's going to be hard. People you care about, people you love, turn out to not be the best people. And it's okay. It's okay to move on, to change, to be our own person, to make our own destiny, to choose a different path, to try to strive to be a better person. And this is something, I truly, truly believe in. And gotta say, this story hits so good throughout beginning to end. It is Superman's story. It's also our story of how we should be. I also believe the characters are kind of perfectly portrayed as comic book characters. You know, some of the characters are really out there. They're not realistic. They're not grounded in reality. But the cinematography and the way it's shot, the colors, the lighting, it really lends to this whole. It's a comic book. It's a fantasy world, but within that fantasy, within this extravagant world, there's still you. There's still Superman. And he's still going to try to be human, going to try to do the right thing. Humans can do the right thing. It's so easy. It's so easy to do the bad, wrong thing, the selfish thing. You know, the thing where you don't think about others and just focus on yourself, focus on what you care about, focus on your family that you care about, and not see the bigger picture and just make the easy choice, which is usually never the good choice. The hard choices are the good choices in life. We can't live through life just thinking one way. Then we become self-centered as people, and that's not good. That's not good. I also thought the dog was great. I have a dog. I have a couple dogs, and Crypto was fantastic. It's acting like a dog, being a dog, it just with a little extra strength. It was amazing. The action was greatly paced. It was greatly shot. It had its slow moments to reel us back our stress levels, our anxiety, to get us down. Get these light-hearted moments in there. Get these heavy-hearted moments in there. Make sure they hit and just like work us back up into it. It kind of went like a roller coaster. It was very nice. It's not just one steady note, increased action all the way through, which I think is great. And I'm very excited about where the future of these movies are going. James Gunn has said every single one of these DC movies are going to have their own feeling, their own vibe, their own vision, their own director. I know that Nathan Fillion said that he's dropped more F-bombs than ever in one of his next Lantern projects, which is kind of crazy. I don't think there's a single F-bomb, even though there's a little swearing in this movie. Not that that matters at all, but you can see there's different visions. And we go to the Batman, and we have Matt Reeves' vision of the Batman, and it's a tonally different completely, but it works. And the fact that all these universes are going to work together, I gotta say, you know, I wasn't a DC fan before, but seeing what James Gunn has done to Superman, seeing how he made a film that's louder than just a film, I really hope people can watch this movie and really take Superman to heart and his choices and what he does, and not just sit there and be like, oh, you know, this wasn't really like Superman. I don't even know what Superman is like. I'm not a DC fan, but I gotta say now, I'm a huge Superman fan, and it was all thanks to this movie. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.